Alright guys, how's it going and welcome back to another video today on the channel. Today I've got a different video for you all. Premier League predictions. I'll have my predictions in there and also one of my mates so you can see the differences between the two. I don't know if they're accurate, but I like you to be able to judge. Don't forget to comment down below who you think will win the league, top 4, all of that. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy. Right then, we're going to get into the tables. The two tables now. Ethan's is going to be on the left, up there. Mine's going to be up there on the right. My relegated teams, as you can see, I've got Fulham, Leeds and Everton. To start off with Fulham, for me, they just seem like a yo-yo team who come up the air, get relegated, they go back down, and they got promoted, and then they just seem to do the same every year. So for me, it's not a no-brainer because they could literally blow me away and do the opposite of what I'm saying. But if they don't get Mitrovic firing, obviously they lost Carvalho to Liverpool. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. For me, Fulham they will go down. The next thing I've got is Leeds. For me, they've got 3 real standout players. They've got Rafinha, obviously, Lee, Phillips and Bamford. If they lose 1 or 2 of them players, for me, their squad's not strong enough to stay in the Premier League. I mean, Jesse March came in, done a great job for them, and I admire what he's done. He's done really well, kept them on the final day, but I just think if they lose 1 of them players, or 3 or 2 of them, then they just don't really have much of a chance. And their squad is not as strong as teams above them, they're probably stronger than Fulham's, but it's not stronger than teams above. The next team I've got to go down, and the final team, I've got Everton. Obviously, they could have went down last season, but Frank Lampard came in, he done the job. Everton have got a few standout players again. They've got obviously DC, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison. Anthony Gordon seems to be a good player. Jordan Pickford. I think Everton have been in the Premier League for so long that they have the experience of what other teams don't, of how to stay in the Premier League, how to win games and that. But I feel like Everton have been in the Premier League, they've had their time, and I just feel like they will go down eventually. And for me, this season will be the season to go down. In the place above last relegated spot is Nottingham Forest. Obviously, fair play to them. They've got promoted after 23 years being away from Premier League. For me, that is just too long for a club like Nottingham Forest. Steve Cooper, he's done a great job at them for the Championship. Came in when they were bottom of the league. And for me, can I see Nottingham Forest staying up? Yeah, I can, to be honest. If they do the right recruitment, get the right players in, obviously they've not got a bad squad, but I think they need them players to come in. I do honestly think they will stay up, but it'd just be sad to see a team who hasn't been in the Premier League for 23 years to go down straight away, as it wouldn't be good to see. In the 16th place, I've got Bournemouth. They came second in the Championship. They've had a really good season last season, and they've got some good players. So for me, if they can get them players firing, going straight away, and have a good start and don't fall off at any part in the season, I think Bournemouth will do well. That's my bottom 5, and I'll see you from 15 onwards. Right, so from 15 onwards, 15 up to 11, I've got, in 15th place, I've got Southampton. For me, they've got a good team, and I generally do think they'll stay up. James Ward-Prowse, this captain, probably one of their better players. For me, they will stay up. There's a team that sometimes gets dragged into it, but never seems to really go down, and I think that will happen again this season. In 14th place, I've got Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. They really surprised me last season of how good and how well they've done. If they can replicate anything of last season, then they won't get pulled into relegation. They'll be battling that absolutely fine. Moving on to 13th, I've got Brentford. For me, Brentford they surprised, I think, a lot of people how well they've done last season, and if they can continue the way they were last season, I think they'll be alright once again. They've got a good squad. Ivan Toney probably one of the standout players. Can I see them ever going down? Yeah, probably can. In maybe a few years, I think they will go down. But for this season, I think they will be alright. So in 11th place, I have got Wolves. Wolves are a good team. They've got a really good squad. Pedro Neto, Raul Jimenez, Connor Cody. They've got a strong squad. They've got a good manager. He came in last season, done a good job, kept them in the Prem. For me, Wolves are nowhere near getting relegated. They're more pushing for Europe, and I think they will push on to try and get the European spot this season. With Conference League looking at, but I think Wolves will have a good season. At 10th, I've got Steven Gerrard, Aston Villa. They've already made 2 signings this summer. They've brought in Philip Coutinho on a permanent deal and Diego Carlos from Sevilla. Two really good signings. I've got them 10th because I just feel Gerrard's not got that experience to maybe push for Europe, unlike other managers who are above. But I think they've got their good players. They've got Ollie Watkins, Coutinho, but they've got a good squad. So for me, they'll push for Europe, but maybe I think they'll just miss out. In 9th spot, I've got Brendan Rodgers, Leicester City. Leicester are a really good side. They've got some really good players. They've got Barnes, Maddison, Jamie Vardy. Looks like his career's coming to an end. I think last season, Leicester's season sort of hit a brick wall at the start of it, with not having Fofana available. He's probably one of the best centre backs for Leicester. He's a quite good centre back in the whole league. I think they'll come 9th. I just feel Brendan Rodgers, he's nearly got them Champions League football twice. He got them Conference League. They came semi-final, quarter-final, I'm not sure which one. Had a good run that. I think this season they'll finish 9th. I think that's the spot for them. In 8th, I've got my beloved Newcastle United. Obviously, had the takeover last season. Made some key signings like Bruno, Trippier, Wood, Burn, Target. Hopefully we can get Paqueta. I just hope that we can push on for Europe. Even if we come 8th, like that's a massive improvement from the start of last season. We looked at 15 for Southampton on that. But I just love we'll push on and just try and get European football for the following season. Now we're moving on. The European spots now. This is where it gets all important. In 7th spot for the Conference League, as you can see, I have got West Ham United. They had a really good run in the Europa League, and to be honest, were quite unlucky. Obviously, it just wasn't their night against Eintracht Frankfurt in the semi-final. I'd like to say West Ham do well in Europe. I think, obviously, they had a time like Newcastle where they were just fighting for relegation constantly, and obviously we probably suffered more than them, but for them now, they're getting their go, what it feels like to have European football and that. In 6th position, I've got Erik ten Hag's Man United. For me, I think this season will be just like Ten Hag settling in. Obviously, he'll make some new signings, whoever he decides to bring in. But they'll also have you have the season to settle in, get used to the Premier League, and then you push on. So for 6th Europa League football, it won't be bad for his first season at the club. So it'll be interesting to see what Ten Hag does. See if he does get you Champions League football, is either the Conference League or Europa League for them. In the 5th spot, just missing out on Champions League football, I've got Arsenal. The reason behind this, I think Arsenal are a really good team. I think when they get going and play tiki-taka football, quick one-touch passing, they can be good to watch. But obviously you saw this season just missing out at the end to the North London rivals Spurs. I think Arsenal, they're not as good as what they were in the Invincible season and that, but they're slowly progressing to get back to what the Arsenal fans want. But I just think they will just miss out, for me personally. But in the first spot of the Champions League spot, I've got Chelsea. So Chelsea, obviously the start of the season, personally I thought they would be content than Liverpool and City to win the league, obviously, but then it hit with all the war and that, it hit a massive turning point. It'd already been slipping behind anyway, but the war just made it a whole lot worse. Obviously Abramovich being linked to Putin and all of that. He then, obviously, he sold the club, or he's close to selling the club, something like that. So, it'd be interesting to see how much money Chelsea spend this summer, if they can change the squad around, sell some players, bring some players in. Obviously, losing Antonio Rudiger is a massive loss for Chelsea. I feel like he just kept Chelsea ticking, and he was like their key player in the centre of the park in defence for them. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much they spend. In third spot, I've got Antonio Conte's Tottenham Hotspur. For me, Spurs, they've obviously got Champions League football. It'd be interesting to see what Conte can do over a full season. Obviously, last season he didn't have a full season. He was just had about from like November onwards, I think it was. But it'd be interesting to see if he can do something in a full season. I don't think Spurs will win a trophy. They won't win the Champions League. An FA Cup, Carabao Cup, you might get there. But for me, I can't really see them winning anything. Keep another season without a trophy for them. Now, between the two top teams, if in the Premier League, if not the world, just missing out on the title, and I think it'll be really close, as was this season. I've got Liverpool. Obviously, Mane could be going to Bayern Munich. I mean, you're probably thinking they've still got world class players. Obviously, they've got Salah, Firmino, Jota, Diaz. I don't know if it's enough, and I think they will miss Mane. Mane is a really world class player. I just think they will miss him. So for me, we're going to miss out. And then obviously, who City have signed, moving on to them. Obviously, they signed Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. For me, that's a world class signing and a really good signing. It's like Pep saying, you've been whinging, I've not got a striker. I've got a world class striker, and he's going to tear you apart. I think City will rip the league apart with that. If Liverpool can keep up with them, then fair play, because Pep's players are just unbelievable. My manager of the season, depending on what happens, I'm going to go for a different one. I'm going to go Steven Gerrard. If he can get Villa, European football, you'll get him. You get manager of the season for me. If not, you're looking at Pep. And I think Pep or Jurgen Klopp for me. I think the first manager to be sacked, I'm going to go Frank Lampard. I really think if Everton have a terrible start, Lampard will get sacked. And then top goal scorer is going to be Mohamed Salah. I hope you've all enjoyed. A bit of a different one. You're probably sick of hearing my voice. It's pretty boring as all. But if you can watch to the end, then it's massively appreciated. Hope you all have enjoyed. If you don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's this one. Goodbye.